On September 29, 1984, Peter Verhalsel, a 29-year-old diver, went cave diving with two friends in the Sterkfontein Caves of South Africa. They wanted to explore Milner Hall, one of the lakes there. Despite Peter being the least experienced, his eagerness drove him forward. However, as they ventured deeper, Peter's curiosity led him into a perilous situation. This is the chilling account of Peter Verhalsel and his terrifying descent into the depths of the Sterkfontein Caves. The Sterkfontein Caves, nestled in the cradle of humankind, hold significant historical importance as they have yielded numerous ancient fossils. People from all over the world are amazed by the things scientists discover there. Back in the late 1890s, miners blew up parts of the caves while looking for limestone to make quicklime for mining gold. This actually helped uncover the entrances to the caves. Around 2.5 billion years ago, the cradle area used to be underwater, like a big, shallow sea. Designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the Sterkfontein Caves are famous for fossil discoveries like Mrs. Pless and Little Foot. Over 4 million years old, they've yielded 40% of the world's ancestor fossils. The site boasts over 9,000 stone tools and evidence of early human use of fire. With excavations ongoing for 60-plus years, it's a major tourist attraction with diverse fossils and unique features like Wonder Cave's enormous chamber. Peter was known as a risk-taker among his friends. He often broke the strict rules of diving, like going into off-limits areas or straying from the guidelines. Peter's curiosity always led him astray, even in the dangerous world of cave diving. Today's dive was no exception. As they ventured into the underwater cave for the first time, Peter, as usual, drifted away from the guideline. This worried and angered his friends, who were likely confused and scared for his safety. Relieved when Peter finally emerged, his friends gestured for him to stick to the guidelines and not wander off again. But Peter wasn't willing to listen. Moments later, his curiosity led him back into the darkness of the submerged cave. His friends watched as his light flickered, kicking up silt from below. For those unfamiliar, silt is a fine material like clay or sand, harmless above water. However, when mixed with water, it can obscure vision, similar to fog or heavy smog. This poses a significant risk for cave divers, potentially leading to disorientation or entanglement, and even risking their lives. Thankfully, Peter managed to return to the guideline, but his friends were furious. They feared he could have become lost or confused, or worse, lost his life due to the confusion. Luckily, Peter had emerged unharmed. Surely, one might expect Peter to adhere to the guideline from now on. Well, not Peter. He seemed to be feeling exceptionally curious that day, deciding to diverge for the third time in a row. Yep, his curiosity and risk-taking were on full display. As his friends watched him stray for the third time, they witnessed his torch flicker once again, stirring up a small cloud of silt and darkness. Seconds turned into minutes, and the situation grew tense. His friends began to worry about Peter's whereabouts. However, searching for him posed a high risk of them getting stuck or lost, which could spell disaster for everyone. Carefully, they explored nearby tunnels and tight spaces, hoping to find any sign of their adventurous friend. Unfortunately, they couldn't find Peter anywhere. They searched one last time, but he was nowhere to be found. They felt scared because they thought their friend might be lost or even dead. Unsure what to do, they left the underwater cave feeling shocked and unsure. Little did they know, Peter was actually alive. His scary adventure was just beginning. As Peter explored the dark cave, he realized he was lost and didn't know where he was. Trying to find his way back only made things worse, and he felt even more confused. In situations like this, things can turn deadly very quickly. Being underwater and deep underground adds a lot of dangerous factors. Peter's panic made him breathe faster, using up his air even faster. Trying not to disturb his gear while kicking up silt made it even more dangerous for him. He had no clue where he was. Everything seemed new and unfamiliar. Luckily, he stumbled upon a small air pocket on a tiny island at the end of a dark tunnel branching off from the main cavern where he started. In the air pocket, there was a limestone rock slab in the middle that Peter could climb onto and lie down. As he started to calm down, he realized he was alone in a freezing, pitch-black cave. The dread of being in an unknown part of the cave with his friends unaware of his fate must have been overwhelming. Despite his efforts to control his breathing, exhaustion from swimming through the harsh cave would eventually overcome him, and he drifted into a terrifying darkness, falling asleep. When he woke up, he hoped it was all just a bad dream. Sadly, though, it was all too real. Peter would have struggled to distinguish between minutes and entire days, as being underground for so long can disrupt circadian rhythms and brain chemicals, leading to auditory and visual hallucinations, much like being in a sensory deprivation tank. After expending all his energy trying to escape the cave, Peter would have become incredibly thirsty. Fortunately, the water in this cave was fresh and drinkable. Unlike some caves with high salt levels, making the water undrinkable, this water was safe, allowing Peter to prevent dehydration, which is a painful and tragic way to die. The discovery of fresh water in the cave likely filled Peter with hope, knowing that by staying hydrated, maintaining his energy, and keeping his wits about him, he stood a chance of being rescued. Upon resurfacing, Peter's friends wasted no time contacting the local police and rescue teams near Johannesburg. The experienced divers quickly initiated a search for Peter. Many observers assumed it was a recovery mission, as surviving underwater for so long seemed nearly impossible. For up to 3 to 4 weeks, Peter endured the darkness, hundreds of feet underground, alone and on borrowed time. His emotions must have been overwhelming: fear, panic, and dread. He was trapped, unable to leave due to the lack of oxygen and harsh conditions, with only water to sustain him, no food in sight. In his final days, rescue divers came within 40 feet of him, safety tantalizingly close. However, Peter couldn't reach them, and the divers couldn't hear or see him. It took 6 weeks of the rescue operation for Peter's body to be discovered in the Sterkfontein Caves. He died from starvation, as there was no food to be found in the barren cave. A note addressed to his family was found carved into the sand near Peter's body, saying, "I love you, Shiro and Ma." This tragic incident serves as a crucial lesson for all divers, both aspiring and experienced. Always adhere to safety precautions and never stray from the designated line when exploring underwater caves. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section below and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss on any of the important updates.